Karen had always thrived on control. In her circle, she was feared, not respected. Her latest scheme involved a young waitress named Lily, a quiet girl who had just started working at a trendy downtown diner. Karen's idea was cruelly simple. Get a group of local bullies to intimidate Lily, make her flinch, maybe even quit, just for Karen's twisted amusement. Lily, 19, had moved to the city to chase her dreams. She worked long shifts, never complained, and had a smile that made the hardest customers soften just for a moment. She kept her head down, did her job, and went home to a small apartment filled with books and dreams. She had no idea she would soon face a storm orchestrated by Karen. Karen approached her usual crew, a group of teenagers who thrived on fear and chaos. "See that girl over there?" Karen said, nodding toward Lily, who was arranging menus on a corner table. "Make her regret coming to this diner. Show her who's boss." The bullies exchanged eager smirks. They lived for these moments. Lily was clearing tables when the first insult hit. "Hey, newbie, thought you could handle real work." One of the bullies shoved a tray toward her, spilling water across the floor. Lily froze for a second, then calmly picked up the tray, wiped the mess, and continued working. Karen watched from across the room, smirking. "Push her further," she whispered, enjoying the spectacle. A few minutes later, one of the bullies dropped a heavy plate near Lily's feet. "Careful, don't break anything, loser," he sneered. Lily's hands shook slightly, but she maintained her composure, earning a small, satisfied chuckle from Karen. But then something unexpected happened. The diner door opened, and in walked a man in a black suit carrying a briefcase. His presence alone silenced the chatter. He wasn't just anyone. His calm, commanding aura demanded attention. Lily glanced up and froze. She recognized him immediately. Federal Judge Matthew Cole had been dining here for years. He was known not only for his strict rulings but also for his quiet observation of people, catching lies, cheats, and misbehavior without a single word. Karen's smirk faltered when she noticed the man. "Stay calm," she muttered to herself, but the panic was clear in her eyes. The bullies didn't recognize him immediately, so Karen waved her hand to signal them to continue their intimidation. "Finish it," she hissed, her voice low but tense. One bully, emboldened, leaned over the counter and said, "You're nothing here, little waitress. Better watch your back." Lily's fingers gripped the edge of the counter. Her heart raced, but instead of fear, she felt something ignite inside her, a quiet courage that refused to be crushed. Suddenly, Judge Cole stepped forward. His deep voice filled the room, cutting through the tension. "Excuse me," he said, his eyes locking onto Karen and the group around her. "What's happening here?" Karen stumbled, words catching in her throat. Her confidence wavered, and she tried to recover. It's nothing, Your Honor. Just a little joke," she stammered, sweat forming at her temple. Lily, though trembling slightly, stood taller. "They've been trying to intimidate me," she said quietly, yet firmly. Her voice, though soft, carried a strength that surprised everyone in the room. The bullies froze. They hadn't expected resistance, especially not from someone they considered weak. Judge Cole's eyes narrowed. Intimidation. Here, in front of the staff and customers. His tone was calm but sharp, leaving no room for excuses. Karen's face went pale. The power she thought she had evaporated instantly. One of the bullies tried to laugh nervously. "We were just joking, sir. It's harmless." Judge Cole didn't smile. Harmless. Intimidating a young worker for amusement is far from harmless. "Miss," he turned to Lily. "Miss Lily," she said, her hands still slightly shaking but steadying. "Miss Lily," he said, looking directly at Karen, "do you see what your actions have caused?" Karen swallowed, unable to speak. The bullies glanced around nervously, sensing the danger they were in. Judge Cole pulled out his phone and made a call. Within minutes, police arrived at the diner. Karen's panic escalated. Her carefully constructed facade of control was crumbling. She realized, too late, that her actions would have consequences far beyond a few frightened moments in a diner. The police escorted Karen and the bullies outside, where Karen continued to plead and protest, but no one listened. Inside, Lily breathed a sigh of relief. Her hands were still shaking, but a sense of justice and validation washed over her. She had survived the cruelty, maintained her dignity, and gained a silent ally in the federal judge who had witnessed everything. Judge Cole returned to his table, offering Lily a small nod. "You handled that very well," he said quietly. "Not everyone would have stood their ground. You showed courage." Lily managed a small smile, feeling both embarrassed and proud. "Thank you, sir," she replied softly. As the crowd of onlookers resumed their conversations, Karen and her crew were now a cautionary tale. Lily's story would spread among the staff, the regular customers, and even the local community. It was a reminder that cruelty could be confronted and that even the quietest individuals could command respect when faced with injustice. That day, Lily returned to her duties with a newfound confidence. The diner, once a place of fear for her, now felt like a stage where her resilience had been tested and proven. Karen, on the other hand, would have to reckon with the legal consequences of her actions, a lesson in humility she would never forget. And as for the bullies, they learned an unforgettable lesson about picking the wrong target in the wrong place, at the wrong time. Lily didn't just survive, she became a symbol of quiet strength, a testament to courage in the face of intimidation. From that day forward, Karen avoided the diner, aware that her plan had backfired spectacularly. Lily, meanwhile, became more than a waitress. She became a name whispered among the locals, a young woman who had stared down cruelty and come out stronger, unbroken, and respected.